Okay, so I want to do a video that covers one of the most common questions we get on the channel, which is people saying, I'm in, I'm down, but what can we do? And the way I want to answer that is to basically talk about how I have approached the question of what should I do? So I became convinced that inequality was basically the core economic problem when I was a trader back in sort of 2010, 11, 12, 13. And I finally quit that job in 2014, basically thinking, okay, I have to do something, but what do I do? So the very first thing I did was I basically I made a website which wrote down really clearly how does inequality affect the economy. If anybody wants to read that website, it's still up, it's wealtheconomics.org. We've bought the name GARYSECONOMICS.org, I should really move it to that, but it's currently wealtheconomics.org. So I explained the theory, and it took me like a couple of months to write this website really clearly. And then I finished it and I realized like, no one is ever going to see this website because nobody knows who I am. So I thought, okay, basically at this point I've got two options, which is try to get famous so people read my website, or go back to uni and convince academics so they can spread the message. And this might be a surprise to some people, but it was never originally my intention to become famous. So I decided to go back to university first. That's when I realized the guys at university are just like out of the game. They are not going to fix this. So I realized, okay, you're going to have to try to build this message up yourself. And that is why for the last nearly 2 years, I've been trying to basically build a brand to spread this message. And my belief is, if people understood how serious this situation was, how bad the economy will become if we don't fix inequality, then it would be #1 priority for people when they went to the voting booth. And people would demand from their politicians, you have to fix this. This is like a urgent disaster. The reality of the situation is, if we don't fix wealth inequality, life is going to get significantly worse for people in this country generation after generation after generation. You know, the next generation we're already seeing it now, you know, it's going to be a struggle just for a basic life for a lot of people. And that will become more and more common. And it will become increasingly impossible to get rich, you know. It will be very difficult even to just get a basic level of comfort. That's the reality if we don't fix wealth inequality, right? If people knew that, they would stop it. But I think the #1 problem at the moment is people don't realize that. People are not being told the truth about the economy. People are not being told, look, the economy is going to get worse year after year. That's the truth, right? If people knew that, they would stop it. So what I'm trying to do is make as many people as possible aware. And my hope initially, and it still is my hope, is that people will see it and they'll jump on board and they'll amplify the message. So people will watch these videos, they'll share it with their friends, you know what I mean? They'll share it with their family. And increasingly people start to realize, look, this is what is happening. And I always try and back up with predictions. Like at the beginning of COVID, I said, look, this is what happened with COVID. The rich will get richer, house price will go up, stock price will go up, inequality will go up, inflation will go up. And hopefully people will see those things and they'll realize, look, this guy Gary, he's right. And they'll see also things continuing to get worse and worse and worse. And they'll say, we need to support this guy, basically. I mean, what will happen for sure is, if we don't fix wealth inequality, things will get worse. That is what will happen. And at the moment, we're not heading towards fixing wealth inequality, so things are going to get worse. And that means people are going to get angrier, people are going to get more frustrated with the status quo, and people are going to be looking for alternatives, right? And my idea now is that this channel and these ideas become an alternative. And the way they will become an alternative is by people supporting and by people spreading the message. So, you know, recently I've been a bit more aggressive with saying, look, follow the channel, get your friends to follow the channel, spread the channel, because the bigger my voice gets, the more influential these ideas become. You know, I got invited to go to Parliament this week, and they're just doing that because they want to give it a little like, yeah, we invited him. At the moment, I'm not big enough to actually force them to make a change. But if we get bigger and bigger and bigger and more people are listening to these ideas, we can get a point where they have to listen. And we can get a point where we can make this international, you know. And I know that's ambitious, but the problem is massive, so we have to be ambitious. You know what I mean? So when people say, what can I do? We have to build a movement. We have to build a movement. And it might sound selfish, me saying you need to support this channel, you need to support my socials, you need to share my videos, but who else is doing this? And if there are other people out there doing this, get in touch with me. And there are some people, I support Patriarch Millionaires, I support Tax Justice UK, but the truth is, nobody is spreading this message on a big enough scale, so I'm trying to do it. So the number one, I always bring it down to these three things. First of all, understand. The number one idea of this channel is to help ordinary people understand what is happening. I think nobody's out there making economics accessible and easy to understand and explain what's happening. So these videos are here, so ordinary people can understand. Quite simply, wealth inequality is fucking you and it's fucking the economy. It's as simple as that. And that it's not going to get better unless we fix it. Listen, wealth inequality is a cancer in this economy. And if somebody's got cancer, you can do whatever you like around about it. If you don't fix the cancer, that person will die. And that is what is going to happen in this economy. If we do not fix wealth inequality, everything else will gradually become unaffordable. And you're seeing it happening. The NHS will become unaffordable. Good quality education will become unaffordable. Good quality housing will become unaffordable. We will lose all of the things that our great-grandparents worked and fought so hard for to make this country a country in which ordinary people can have a good quality of life. We will lose those things if we don't fix wealth inequality. So how do we fix it? Look, it's not going to be short and sharp. It's not going to be easy, but it's possible. Listen, I quit a £1 million a year job to do this, and I wouldn't have done that if I thought it was impossible. I could be on a beach in the Philippines, but I'm here in London in the cold, wearing a coat, because I think we can fix this. I think we can fix this, but it's not going to be easy. Look, very rich people don't want things to change because they're doing very well out of this, and they own the newspapers. You know what I mean? And they own the radio stations. And they're going to go out and say, oh no, you shouldn't tax the rich. If you do, it'll be an economic disaster. Understand that's bullshit. Secondly, they're going to say, oh, but you can't tax them because they'll leave. Understand that's bullshit. And we've explained both of those things extensively on this channel, and we will explain them more. Understand that we have to fix it if you want to fix the economy, and we can fix it if we agree that this is the only thing we vote for, it's the only thing that we demand, it's number one priority. So that's what we have to do. Educate yourself, support this channel. If you have ways that you can support, like get in touch. What are we looking for? What are we looking for, Sim? People to help us grow it.
People to do subtitles.
People to do subtitles so we can make it international.
Yeah.
People who have basically connections to help us grow the channel, because we're getting to the stage now. There's a lot of good videos here, and it needs to be bigger. We're only going to change things if we make things bigger, so...
We try to approach, like, Russell Brand.
Yeah, listen, if you know Russell Brand, if you know Martin Lewis, or if you know anyone with a big voice who can help us amplify them, put them in touch with us, man. Because look, I'm out here. I was one of the best paid economists in the world. I know what's happening. I called it from the start. I know what's happening. I know how to fix it. But I need to get on the stage, so I need people to help me to do that, basically. In the meantime, we're going to be out here on my balcony making videos every week and out in the parks. Watch the videos, share the videos, subscribe, press that little bell thing, whatever it does. Apparently it's good for the channel. But help us grow, man, and spread the message. And, you can talk to your politicians, but the main thing we need is basically people to help us build the voice. But every single person watching can help by subscribing and sharing with their friends, man. And understanding what's happening and being passionate. And it's not even just about me. When you're talking to your friends and your family about the economy, say, look, I think the problem is inequality of wealth. And I'm not just saying that. There's this guy who explains it very clearly. Show them my website, show them the videos. Like, look, it's ideas and stories that change the world. Things are going to get really, really, really seriously bad here. Seriously. And that is fucked up, but it's also an opportunity to change things. Listen, the last thing that really, really significantly improved quality of life in this country and all over the West was the Second World War. Because things were so fucked up that people said, no, we're not going to accept it. We demand change. And they got change. They got affordable housing, good quality healthcare, good quality education for all the people in this country, even the poorest people in this country. And it was the Second World War that achieved that. Because when times are really, really bad, that's an opportunity to bring people together. And we have an opportunity like that now. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So I would encourage anybody, support the channel, support anyone else you know who's campaigning for wealth inequality, bring people in and help grow this voice. And that, hopefully, is how we achieve change. And I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm not saying we're definitely going to win. But if we lose, it's a big problem. So we have to try. So yeah, please support us. Keep watching. Keep sharing. Thank you. housing could be so much more affordable, wages could be so much higher, and we could have so many more options in how we live our lives. Some of them put a lot of money into paying economists and think tanks to tell you that inequality is important for the economy. That is not true.